Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 cent video for this week where I give you my thoughts on and opinion on some of the stories that came out in the Switch/gaming world, and like I said, give you my thoughts and my opinions on it. So why don't we get started with the first story, or at least the stories that I thought were interesting, and that is Nintendo's online service. Now, excuse me. Last week there was a rumor going around about basically Nintendo would be revealing their stuff, or at least their online stuff, in sometime in like May 7th. Although they mentioned that they would be revealing some information in like early May. And apparently we got some got some answers to it. And from what I've seen so far, the responses have been kind of mixed at best. So, according to basically from their own website, again, all links will be in the description of this video, it points out that in terms of that the service is still planning to launch in 2018. From their website, they're saying Nintendo Switch Online is a paid service that gives members access to online play in compatible games, a selection of NES games, extra features on Nintendo Switch Online smart apps, and more. For what they showed off is that they'll have online play for cooperative games around the world like Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Tennis, Ace, and Sushi Striker. Those games will be required, obviously, for the use of Switch Online, the whole Switch Online. Nintendo Entertainment System enjoyed 20 games with the added online play for the first time, and more games added regularly. Nintendo Switch Online app though, special offers, and basically save data cloud backup, a feature that a lot of Switch owners have been asking for. In terms of pricing, it still remains as 1 month is $3.99 a month, $4. 3 months is $7.99, $8, and 12 months, a whole year, is $19.99, $20. And they also added a family member feature where you could, for $35 for 12 months, you can basically put, according to this, a Nintendo account holder may invite up to 7 other players to join a family groups. All members of the groups will have access to Nintendo Switch Online. So for $35 for 12 months, you can have up to 8 people to basically use the Nintendo Switch. In terms of features, for those that for the online feature, it basically points out that online play will be required. I mean, online gameplay though, although I hear that some games may require you to subscribe to this Nintendo Switch Online service, others may not. The Nintendo Switch Online app, the NES Nintendo Switch Online, save cloud data backup, and special offers. Those who don't subscribe to the service, while it says here that you won't get those features, according to this, you'll still have access to Nintendo Switch system and software update, access to Nintendo eShop, register and manage friends, share screens and social media, and access to Nintendo Switch parental control app. And under their FAQ, if I could get that, it says that when asked about the Nintendo Switch Online membership to access online play, as I mentioned earlier, ARMS 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Tennis 8, and Sushi Striker, according to this, you will need require a Nintendo Switch Online membership, but other games will vary. So it's possible not every game will require you to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership though. In terms of, let's see, I think there's something about here about basically, okay, here's something. Well, if I don't purchase a Nintendo Switch Online membership plan, will my Nintendo Switch have any online features? No, that's not it. Let me go back over here just 1 second. Kind of work with me here for a little bit. Alright, so basically, as far as the titles that will be available at launch, though, the 20 NES games, those are Soccer, Balloon Fight, Tennis, Ice Climber, Donkey Kong, Dr. Mario, Mario Brothers, The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, or as I like to dub, the greatest video game of all time. Debatable, at least. You can say what you want. Odd that they didn't put Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, and Super Mario Brothers 2 on here. So while this is interesting, there's also somewhat some bad news, and around the time that this announcement was made, it was reported by several other sites that picked up on a story from Kotaku that the Virtual Console is not coming to the Switch, according to what Nintendo says. For what they are saying is that there are currently no plans to bring classic games together under the Virtual Console banner as it's been done on other Nintendo systems. So, from my takeaway from what they are showing, though, is that I'm kind of mixed on this, though. So, on the one hand, I do think the price looks nice, though. I mean, $20 for a whole year is definitely not a bad deal. And of course, like $35 for like 8 members it certainly isn't bad. I mean, if you have more than 8 members, then it might be an issue with that one. Other features I do like is the fact I do like the idea of the Nintendo Entertainment System for online for this. This is certainly a nice addition. And the save data cloud backup. So that part I think has gone a bit controversial with some people. And while it's nice that they're adding this feature as part of their Nintendo Switch Online service, I can understand some of the criticism that people may not like the idea of having to put this behind a paywall in a certain way. So, yeah, I kind of mixed on that one, though. The Switch Online app, I'm not 100% sure about that one, though. I think that a lot of people did not like their approach, especially with the Splatnet and Splatoon app, where you have to use your phone to do voice chat, though. And a lot of people did not like that app, especially since you have to have your phone on at all times. Supposedly, they added a system update to that and sort of fixed that problem, but still, the damage has kind of been done. And this, I'm sorry, it's just that even though I may not be a big voice chat person, I think it sounds like a bad approach compared to what even Xbox, PC, and PS4 did, in which you just plugged into your controller. That is, this just feels like it's more work into something that isn't. Maybe they've learned some lessons, maybe they fixed some stuff, but for the voice chat part, I think it's an uphill climb on that one. As far as the Virtual Console goes, to be exact, though, I'm somewhat disappointed on this, but I'm not completely losing sleep on the whole thing. It sounds like, though, that we're going to be getting a different kind of service as far as the Virtual Console goes, just not under the Virtual Console banner like it was on the Wii, Wii U, and Nintendo 3DS, or in this case, the new Nintendo 3DS to be exact, and the new Nintendo 2DS. So, how they approach it, obviously they are going to probably approach it either like what they are showing right now, the 20 NES games available. Maybe that's how you're going to have access to a lot of these retro games through the Nintendo Online service. Another possible option would be they work with Hamster. For those who are not familiar, they are the ones that have worked on several arcade games released on the Nintendo Switch. Most notably, they are responsible for a lot of the SNK games that have come out, ranging from the Metal Slug series, one of my favorite 2D shooter games. I like those entries. Number 3 is my favorite one, though. The Shengu, the World, I think Samurai Showdowns, World Hero, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, to be exact. So those guys as well. They also worked on, I think, the arcade archive of the original Mario Brothers to even the Punch-Out game. So it's possible they could be aiming for a different direction and maybe teaming up with them to release these games. And of course, there's also the possibility that it could be a mixture of both. So disappointed that they're dropping the Virtual Console banner in a certain degree, but obviously it sounds like they're going in a different direction as far as the Switch goes, so we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I'm kind of mixed on it though. I think the price point isn't bad. I'm interested to see what the special offer they offer for members, to be exact. The 20 NES games though is kind of interesting, although I expect that will grow to more NES games, to even Super NES, N64, and possibly GameCube if that does happen. But not a big fan of the Switch Online app. I'm kind of mixed with the cloud saving system. I'm glad that they offered that, but put it behind the paywall. I can understand some people's complaint about this as well. And the fact that it seems as though, for now, it looks like you can only access these 20 NES games through their paid online service, although that could change. We'll have to wait and see. So overall, kind of mixed on this. Some things I like, some things I'm not really a big fan of, though. So for me, overall, kind of a mixed feeling on this. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about a comment Koei Tecmo said on the possibility of Fire Emblem Warriors 2 happening. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at a comment that Koei Tecmo recently made about the possibility of Fire Emblem Warriors 2. Now, so far, Koei Tecmo has been very open in terms of their support for the Nintendo Switch. They have recently said that their games have supposedly did very well on the system, even though they haven't, or at least as far as I'm aware of, haven't given out any sales number. And they recently said that, correct me if I'm wrong, that I think Fire Emblem Warriors has so far shipped 1 million. I haven't said they sold 1 million, but have shipped 1 million. Now, I've played Fire Emblem Warriors, though, and while I'm not the hugest Fire Emblem Warriors fan, I do feel that that game does edge out Hyrule Warriors a little bit, thanks to the whole borrowing certain elements from the Fire Emblem series, such as the weapons triangle, to the fact that now you can sort of send characters that you don't play to certain areas, such as fighting certain enemies and so on. And of course, you could switch to different characters on the screen. Not to mention, the Switch version, when playing dock, has the option of playing it at 1080p 30 frames per second or 720p 60 frames per second. And while it would have been nice to play it at 1080p 60 frames per second, if I have to choose between a higher resolution or a stable frame rate, I'm going to go with stable frame rate no matter what. So that is very nice. Well, recently, a comment from Koei Tecmo recently came out that points out that they are interested in the game, but currently there may not be any plans at the moment. From an article on Destructoid, and again, links will be in the description, in an interview with that was translated from on the magazine, I believe, Nintendo Dreams, explained the game has come a long way since using Hyrule Warriors as a base, and working on all the DLC felt like an instrumental task. Here's what they said. In terms of development period, the project began at a time when the Nintendo Switch has not been revealed. Fire Emblem Heroes, that's the DLC, that's the mobile Fire Emblem game, wasn't released, and Fire Emblem Fate recently came out. Together with Nintendo and IS, it was nice to be associated with the Fire Emblem IP and stay close to it while watching it grow bigger. Because of pressure, I was worried if the game would play well, but since we were able to understand the audience, it was a very enjoyable project. We felt regards to the characters. We feel regrets for the characters that we were unable to include. If there is an opportunity, if there's an opportunity, I would love to make Fire Emblem Warriors 2, but that's not something we're working on right now. The Fire Emblem series itself has a long history. We're also fans of Fire Emblem, and we will hope to support it in the future. So right now, it doesn't sound like a Fire Emblem Warriors Fire Emblem Warriors 2 is going to happen anytime soon. Personally, that said, I would be down if they do a sequel to it. Hell, I would be down if they do a sequel to Hyrule Warriors as well, though. If they do a sequel to Fire Emblem Warriors, maybe improve some areas and possibly bring in some characters and scenarios from maybe the past Fire Emblem games that I think a lot of people are a big fan of. Again, I'm not the hugest Fire Emblem fan though, but I've started to get interest in the series, so hopefully it'll bring my characters like maybe like Roy. I hear a lot of people want to see him into the Fire Emblem series. And if they ever do a Hyrule Warriors sequel, which I would certainly be down with though, I would like for them to look at maybe use other scenarios from past Zelda games, like maybe A Link Between World or A Link to a Past, to even the original NES Legend of Zelda or Zelda 2, Adventures of Link, to even the Game Boy or the handheld Zelda games like Link's Awakening, Oracle of Season, and Oracle of Age, the Minishing Cap as well. So use like those scenarios, or even the recent Zelda game Breath of the Wild, which there are reports now that a sequel is in the works, which I'm not surprised by that, but it's probably going to be a while until we hear anything about that sequel. But in either case, I would be down if they do that. Hell, I would be down if they do, say, like, a new Nintendo Warrior games with other Nintendo IPs. Some have said like a Pokemon or using the Mario Brothers as well, which would be kind of interesting to see. But at the same time, I would be open to say if they do one based off of Kid Icarus, Golden Sun, or even the Xenoblade Chronicles series would be nice. And outside of the Warriors games, I would like to see other games come from Koei Tecmo as well. Maybe a remake or a whole new entry of the Ninja Gaiden series. Maybe bring Ninja Gaiden Sigma over if that's possible. 1, 2, and 3. Maybe another entry in the Rygar series. We haven't seen any entry since like 2002, one for the PlayStation 2, and I believe it was also ported over to the Wii as well. Maybe that as well. Another entry to maybe the Crimson Sea, or a port of Crimson Sea 2, or another entry of the Winback series. So, in either way, though, putting those games aside, though, I would be down for another entry of another Warriors game on the Switch using Nintendo characters. And while it is a little bit disappointed that Fire Emblem Warriors 2 is not in development right now, it's not to say that maybe down the road they might not do another one. We'll have to wait and see. And who knows, maybe they'll announce something at E3 this year. Maybe they won't, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, looks like it's not going to happen, at least not yet, but that doesn't rule out the possibility we could see a Fire Emblem Warriors 2 down the road. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the possibility of a certain game that could be coming to the Switch. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of our video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at some comments made by some developers of a possibility of a game they're working on could be coming to the Nintendo Switch. And from what I understand, the game is supposedly titled System Shock. Now, I'm not a PC gamer, so I never really heard of the game before, but I've heard some history about it, at least according to this from Wikipedia, that it was originally released back in 1994. It was a first-person perspective in a 3-dimension, this was 1994. 3D was kind of getting sort of, it was an action-adventure single-player game. It has recently been clear that a remake of the game was coming out, being developed by Night Dive Studio, though, and supposedly I've heard some interesting comments on the fact that they've ran into some troubles with the scope of the game. They had to restart development and all that stuff. So the game sort of has an odd, interesting history. Nevertheless, though, supposedly they are developing it for Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Linux, PS4, and Xbox One, and are looking at a first quarter 2020 release date. Well, it seems as though it's a possibility. It could, though nothing confirmed, it could come to the Nintendo Switch if possible. From an article from from an article on Enthusiast that was picked up by several other sources during a Discord from supposedly Night Dive, put out a recent following comment though. It said, Night Dive is now authorized developers for both the PlayStation and Xbox with refocus on style and scope. We will also be able to port a game to another very popular platform. Now, other than the joke that has somewhere come out of it saying, oh, they mean the Ouya, the Atari box, and all that stuff, though, it sounds like, although not official, it does sound like, though, that the Nintendo Switch could be getting the possibility of a system shock to their system, though. Now, again, I'm open for it if they want to bring System Shock to the Nintendo Switch. I never tried to play the game before, so it will be very interesting for me to try it out. That said, the development history of it does kind of worry me a little bit. The fact that they have been running into some troubles with this Kickstarter, and they haven't been able to, having trouble developing the game and so on. So I do have some concerns about this game, and it's going to be interesting to see what the final product comes out, especially when it comes out on Mac and PC and PS4 and Xbox One. And hopefully, if they are planning to bring it to the Switch, which I certainly am open to it, though, hopefully they'll be able to port it over without any trouble, since last time I read, it supposedly supports the Unreal 4 engine, and hopefully the other versions turn out well, so that this game does so that basically it does look well on the Switch. I mean, it's the same feeling I have with Ark Survivor Evolved, which was announced for the Nintendo Switch at the GDC conference. Again, I don't have a problem with that game coming to the Switch, but given the history the game has had on other systems and how supposedly it wasn't optimized very well, I do have some concerns. So in this case, I do have concerns about this one too. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the development, despite some of the hiccups they've ran into, hopefully the development is going well. Hopefully it will eventually come out and it will be well received, and I do hope that a Switch version does happen. I would be open if it does come to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to the fourth part, which has two stories. One is a non-gaming thing, it has to do with Comcast, and the other one that just got announced just now on Thursday, about a Monster Hunter game coming to the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of this My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're actually going to be talking about two things in this part though. The second one, the Monster Hunter one, I will get to, because that one just broke on Thursday, so I'm going to be talking about that. But before we do that, I want to talk about a non-gaming one, and it has to do with the future of Disney acquiring 20th Century Fox. Now, as some of you may have been aware of, last year it was announced that Disney was going to buy out 20th Century Fox, at least some of their IPs and assets, with certain things not being affected. Mostly, stuff like Fox Sports and Fox News, or as I like to refer to it as Trump's propaganda machine. That's my opinion. I still stand behind that though. And it supposedly was going to go through all the regulatories and all that stuff, and supposedly things were going to be done by, say, I think like next summer. Well, it seems as though Comcast may have thrown a wrench in this situation. In an article, I believe from the Hollywood Reporter, though, and this just recently got picked up, it's saying that Comcast is set to be readying a cash offering of about $60 billion for the same Fox assets Disney has agreed to acquire for $52.4 billion, and Comcast has offered to buy all of Sky for $31 billion in order to appeal Comcast and sweeten its offer from Fox. Disney may encourage Fox to let Comcast have Sky as far. Now, as the deal stands now, if Comcast were to get Sky, Disney would assume about $12 billion less in debt when it requires Fox in that particular merger. This could represent a more negotiable power should Disney still need to outbid Comcast for Fox assets, though. Um, it's sort of an interesting kind of situation that this has came out, though. As far as what would happen if Comcast were to go through with this, though, for me, though, I don't think the acquisition of, say, X-Men, Deadpool, or Fantastic Four would be in danger in a way. I think that since those are still Marvel properties, no matter what, I think they will get those back, though. But as far as everything else, it's unclear about what's going to happen. Now, I'm no business expert or anything like that, but my guess is that should or if Comcast is pushing that forward, Disney supposedly could, in a way, outbid Comcast. That's one option. Or the second option could be that they might negotiate some sort of deal or negotiate on certain things. Maybe split the IPs up or something like that. So there are definitely possible scenarios, though. I think that Bob Iger, the head of Disney, recently told investors that there's like nothing to worry about or anything like that. And we have until, I think, next summer, so we'll see how this plays out, though. Very interesting Comcast is doing this, though. We'll have to wait and see if they go through with it and end up getting all this stuff from 20th Century Fox and outbidding Disney, although I suspect that Disney will either outbid them or they may negotiate something with Comcast. So either way, we'll have to wait and see. But as far as the Marvel properties go, I think those are just going to go back to Disney no matter what. So I don't think those are in danger. I could be wrong on that one, though, but I don't feel that those will be in danger at all. Alright, and the second thing was announced, and this one is certainly great for those who've been waiting, and that is the Monster Hunter XX. Well, apparently it is now referred to as Monster Hunter Generation Ultimate, and it's going to be coming to the West this August. From an article from Nintendo Life, and this is from the PR, the highly anticipated Monster Hunter Generation X, the Ultimate, the follow-up to Monster Hunter Generation, marks the series' debut of the Nintendo Switch as an exclusive when it launches on August 28, 2018 for digital and physical retail purchase across Europe and North America. For the first time, gamers have the flexibility to play both local, wireless, and online play with up to 3 other hunters while playing at home, on the big screen, or on the go in handheld or tabletop mode. A brand new trailer is available right now. Now, for those who are not familiar, a lot of Switch owners were calling out for this game to come over to the West, and for the most part, Capcom has kind of been shy about announcing it, though. There was a statement last year when saying that there was no plans to bring it over, and for what I understand, they walked back that, saying they had nothing to announce at the time. Some Nintendo fans were kind of angry at Capcom for doing this and all that stuff, especially after Monster Hunter World came out and that became a success. Many were claiming for Monster Hunter World to come to the Switch and all. But while it's been a long wait for it, it seems as though they are bringing this game over to the Switch over here in the West in August. And it certainly would be interesting to see how this one's going to play, especially if there's going to be any difference from how Monster Hunter World played, to be exact. And another thing I hear is that another thing that's kind of interesting for those who are big Monster Hunter fans is that players of the original Monster Hunter generation can transfer save data from the previous title to continue their journey in Monster Hunter Generation Ultimate. Now, I haven't played a huge amount of Monster Hunter Generation, but I do welcome this nice announcement indeed. So, and how that works is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe through Wi-Fi or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, great that Switch owners will be getting an exclusive Monster Hunter game. We'll see how well this one does in sales, and maybe it might convince them to consider porting Monster Hunter World if that's possible, or maybe continue with a brand new exclusive of a Monster Hunter game for the Nintendo Switch. So overall, interesting announcement indeed. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion, but what are yours? What are your thoughts about Nintendo's online service? Are you happy with what they have produced so far? Are you not happy? Are there things you like? Are there things you hate? Or do you think that there are some areas of concerns you have for it? Are you going to buy this online subscription service, or are you going to just skip it altogether? What are your thoughts about Koei Tecmo's comments about Fire Emblem Warriors 2? Are you pleased? Would you like them to work on it right now? Do you think they should work on another Fire? They should work on a different game, maybe do a different Warriors games? Are you disappointed with this announcement? Are you not surprised? Do you think they'll do one down the road? Do you think they'll do a different Warriors with a different Nintendo IP? What are your thoughts about the comments about System Shock could be coming to the Nintendo Switch? Are you happy about this? I mean, could be coming to the Switch. Would you like for it to come to the Nintendo Switch? Do you not like for it to come at all? Have you ever played the original one? Do you think it would be a good fit for the Nintendo Switch? And finally, what are your thoughts about, say, Comcast possibly outbidding Disney? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is a bad thing? Do you think Disney will still get all Fox's IP? Or do you think they'll outbid Comcast? Or do you think that they will maybe negotiate some sort of deal with Disney will negotiate some sort of deal with Comcast? And what about the announcement of Monster Hunter Generation Ultimate coming to the Nintendo Switch out here in the West? Are you happy with this? Are you not happy with this? Have you been looking forward to playing this one? Or would you rather prefer Monster Hunter World come to the Switch instead? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then.